not knowing really what's on that inside, because there's some pretty people that got some ugly soul. Yeah. There's some handsome men that are demons.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna ask you about a few years ago. You caught a lot of slack from saying something about R. Kelly. I'm not gonna quote you, but can you talk about that? I'm sorry.
What did I say? I be forgetting, child.
I think you was more so. A lot of people kind of thought you was kind of defending not what he did, but like that people coming out against him. How do you feel about R. Kelly? I think you know him personally. How do you feel about then and now? What's going on with R. Kelly?
I never met him a day in my life.
Okay.
All his albums, his songwriting is hands down probably some of the best we've ever heard in the world.
Facts.
But from people that I know that have been around him, like everybody knows that he has certain issues. And a lot of people knew that he was making a lot of money. So I think a lot of his issues were suppressed for the simple fact that, he was the breadwinner and he was throwing people a bag. I don't know personally what happened, but I know that there were people around. I'm just like, well, y'all was there too. So why nobody ain't say nothing? So when his ship is sinking, a lot of people was getting a raft and like, well, I don't want nothing to do with it. But to me, if you was around it and you accepted it and allowed it, I always felt people was in on it. So I just always felt, and what I think I said, which I don't remember, I was just like, well, if they're gonna call him out, there's so many more people that they need to call out. But look what's happening. Like, don't just go after him, go after all of them. If you're gonna pick out, don't just use one as the role, as the okay, you're the example. It's so much stuff that goes on in the industry behind the scenes. Like, whoo, he's not the only one. And I don't condone anything that they said he did. The sad part is that I know for a fact he wasn't the only one over there with the child. That's sad.
Yeah. So we hear those stories and we hear those hard stories when it comes to particularly the youth, especially within the game, whether it be male, like, female, male, whatever.
Behave, that shit is a different type of demon. That's why I'm just like, whoo.
We hear stories kind of attributing that to the Illuminati and rituals. We all can kind of go deep down that rabbit hole and give reasonings as to why. I've had those conversations seem like somebody once a week. Is that kind of true within the industry? Is some real kind of other kind of spirits kind of handling that game? How real does that get?
Yeah, it's real. All I gotta say is that if you ain't got nobody praying for you or you don't pray for yourself, do not get into the industry. Because you know what I've learned? They say Satan don't have the red horns and the pitchfork like people think. He presents himself, honestly, if you look back before he was banished from heaven, Lucifer was the most beautiful angel of them all. Mm-hmm. So it always presents itself as beauty. I'll leave it there.
Let's talk about Broken Heart.
Yes.
Broken Heart out now. I've heard it a few times now, about 10 times. I love the song.